super friends, and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And in today's video, we'll be discussing, will we ever see the Justice League Dark show up in Legends of Tomorrow Season 4, or any other seasons for that matter? So let's discuss. Now, with the introduction of John Constantine to Legends of Tomorrow in Season 3, it begged a lot of questions as to where this character is going to fit in the universe and how he's going to be implementing his own elements into the show. Of course, Constantine was its own TV show over on NBC, got cancelled after one season, but the character of John Constantine was actually revived by the CW as he was in Arrow Season 4, he was in Legends of Tomorrow Season 3 of course, and now he is a series regular in Legends of Tomorrow Season 4. But this has begged a lot of questions as, where the character comes from, what kind of elements it's going to bring in, and of course a huge part of the character of Constantine from the comics is he is a member of the Justice League Dark. So who are the Justice League Dark? Well, they are a team of metahumans and they are basically like an anti-Justice League, where they are, they're not villains, but they are very much kind of, they're not the best people at times, and they are kind of a bit more of a ragtag team of heroes who deal with a very specific threat. You can kind of look at them in the Suicide Squad in that sense. The Suicide Squad, they deal with a lot more grounded stuff. The Justice League Dark, they deal with the supernatural, and they deal with things like that. So, you have different teams within DC that deal with different things, and Justice League Dark, they simply deal with the supernatural and more horror side of things, and that is obviously, as you can see, where Constantine comes into it. John Constantine is a founding member of the Justice League Dark, and the Justice League Dark is something I've always wanted to see in live action. We were going to get a film a while back with Doug Liman behind it, but that never actually ended up coming to fruition. He left the project, and now that film's just kind of dwindling in the wind somewhere. But I would love to see the Justice League Dark be realized within the Arrowverse. Now, the Justice League Dark is made up of some very interesting characters from DC Comics. As of course I mentioned earlier, this is led by John Constantine for the most part. He's a very much a founding member and a very much well associated member of the Justice League Dark. We also have characters like Swamp Thing, who I'm sure you'll recognize from things, well, he has his own movie, he's got a new TV show coming out, he was also in Injustice 2, and there's also characters like Zatanna, who you've probably heard of, Deadman, and many others. There is a quite a wide array of characters who are on the Justice League Dark, and given that Constantine is going to be a big part of Legends of Tomorrow in Season 4, and potentially, Season 5 going forward if it gets to Season 5, then that means we could get more mystical, more horrific, more supernatural stuff being brought into Legends of Tomorrow due to Constantine being that gate into that, and we kind of get hints towards that at the end of Season 3. And I feel like this would be a really awesome time to introduce the Justice League Dark to this universe, or at least a few of these characters. Personally, if it was up to me, I feel like a good character to introduce, say if they were just going to do one, would be Zatanna. I feel like Zatanna would be the most easy one to do. You don't really have to do many special effects in terms of powers. It's very much more magical based kind of stuff. I feel like you could just do that instead of a character like Deadman, who would have to be, pretty much covered in makeup the entire time, or maybe even CGI. Swamp Thing would definitely have to be CGI. Whereas Zatanna would literally just cast an actress, give her a cool costume, and then do a little bit of special effects here and there with her powers. And I feel like Zatanna was also the most likely because she was in Smallville. Now obviously Smallville had a lot more access. This was kind of a different time, so all the rights weren't displaced all over the place, so that's why Smallville had pretty much everyone from the DC universe at one point. So yeah, Smallville was able to use those characters a lot more, but I feel like Zatanna being a big character-ish on Smallville, and having the CW use that character before, I feel like she's the most likely option to come over. If we're going to get any member from the Justice League Dark in Legends of Tomorrow, it's going to be Zatanna. Now, if Legends of Tomorrow went completely down the supernatural route this season, which I thought it was going to originally, then I would have no doubt in saying that we would get a character like Zatanna, or even, hints towards the Justice League Dark in the show for sure. However, obviously we know that this is actually going down the fairy tale route, which is quite an interesting route to take it. But who's to say, in fairy tales you do get some weird stuff in there, there is some, supernatural stuff that can be brought in. And obviously that's where Constantine is going to come into use, and if Constantine's going to be a big part of the season, which he should be because he is a series regular, you need to introduce the Justice League Dark, and you need an idea to kind of bring this together. And I'm not saying we're going to get a Justice League Dark TV show, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying we're even going to see all the members or anything like that. I just feel like it'd be really awesome to see you know, the forming of this team start to begin, just get those little elements. And even if that is with the introduction of a character like Zatanna to come in for one episode, or bring her in Season 5, just to add that little bit of world building, it'd be really awesome, because the Justice League Dark is such an interesting element of the DC universe that hasn't been explored in live action form, and I've been waiting for it. And I feel like the Arrowverse is in the perfect position right now, given the fact that Constantine is more popular than ever, he's so much more relevant than ever, and given the fact that he's going to be a lot more prominent than ever before within the Arrowverse, as he is now a series regular, I feel like this is the perfect and prime opportunity for the CW to really delve deep into the supernatural and get the Justice League Dark into this universe once and for all. Also, if they really wanted to go for it, they could actually bring in characters like Dr. Fate. Now, Dr. Fate is a very cool character from DC Comics. He was also in Smallville, and basically, he is actually a member of the Justice League Dark right now in the comics. But he is, again, a very magical, supernatural-based character, but very, very awesome. And I feel like he'd fit on Legends. He's also a really big fan favorite. Like, a lot of people have been really wanting Dr. Fate to come to the Arrowverse for a long time. I know I've been backing that one. So again, this is like the perfect opportunity for the CW and the Legends of Tomorrow writers to look at the characters they've got and go, right, we can introduce some more weird and supernatural characters into the show now that Constantine has been the door to that. So we can bring in Zatanna, we can bring in Dr. Fate, and it would be really awesome. And I'd love to see that. Even in, like, you know, a special kind of event, maybe in Legends of Tomorrow, maybe they have a crossover with, you know, the Justice League Dark, or maybe like Legends of Tomorrow gets its own crossover with something else, you know, one of the other shows, and then they go and join up with these other characters, you know, similarly to what we got in Crisis on Earth X, where we met up with the Freedom Fighters, and we met with Ray, and we met Citizen Cold, and the Earth X Guardian, people like that. I feel like we could do something similar to that, where the Legends of Tomorrow have a crossover with one of the other shows, and they tackle this big supernatural threat. Maybe they team up with Team Arrow or something, they do this massive supernatural threat, and this is when you bring in some characters like Zatanna and Dr. Fate, other characters who are associated with the Justice League Dark, who know what they're doing in the supernatural side of things, to join up with Constantine and the Legends and potentially Team Arrow, whoever they go with, to take on this big supernatural threat. I feel like it'd be such an awesome idea and such a cool way to add this new element to the universe that we haven't really seen before, but we will start to see with the introduction of Constantine. So I would love to see anything to do with the Justice League Dark within this show. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see the Justice League Dark get introduced into Legends of Tomorrow and the Arrowverse? Like I said, tell me all your thoughts about this, all your predictions and theories. Do you think they could possibly get introduced this season? If so, which members do you think we'll see? Or do you think they're just going to completely scrap the idea entirely? Like I said, I don't think the Justice League Dark are going to happen. I don't think this is going to be a thing that will appear on the show anytime soon. I would love to see it. Like I said, I've always wanted to see the live action form of the Justice League Dark. I just don't think it will happen, especially not anytime soon. The only thing I can see happening is the introduction of maybe one or two characters. Like I said, I think Zatanna is a very likely option to come in at some point within the Arrowverse, especially with Constantine. And also, I feel like Dr. Fate could be brought in, given the fact that he is so popular and people do want him quite a lot, and this is, again, a good way to do it. But do you want to see the Justice League Dark? Do you like the idea? Tell me all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to head over to my podcast channel, which is called Honor Thy Podcast. It is a weekly DC TV Arrowverse podcast I do with my good friend Dan McCants, aka Mulekick Media. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, be sure to head down to the description and follow the link to Honor Thy Podcast. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It will help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always, guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And with all that said, guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.